How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tear Talk. Great questions sent our way. Hey, Gange, how do you feel about agencies that send their recruits first to the prison and jail before they send them to the academy? And that's a great question. That's a question I even posted on my Facebook page. And the answers I got from our fellow brothers and sisters, those that are in the field, those that have experience, well, that answer was very universal. We are not in agreement with that. So when I come back from our sponsors, I'll give you my reasons why I believe that recruits should go to the academy first. And hopefully someone in the higher-ups, they listen to this, because I think this is something that needs to change immediately. So as always, guys, the channel is for you brave men and women who work behind that wall. So please, if you haven't, subscribe, interact, engage, and hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you when I post up a video. So stand by. Once I come back from our sponsors, we'll be discussing my thoughts on agencies that send their recruits to the prison and jails first before they go to the academy. Stand by.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it. It's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Being a corrections officer takes its toll on even the strongest individuals. The constant need to perform at the highest level, putting your life at risk in a hostile environment, and the mental scarring of traumatic experiences. 31% of corrections officers show symptoms of PTSD, and 66% of people with PTSD also suffer with a substance abuse problem. The Transformations First Responders program is specially designed to help veterans and officers heal from the grips of addiction and PTSD in a comfortable, supportive, and serene setting. You are not alone. If you have questions about the services we offer, give us a call at 866-762-8454 to get more information on this affordable and life-changing program.
Thank you guys for listening to our sponsors. You know, a lot of people are going to be shocked when they turn on this video and they hear about that practice. That for some, there is no academy first. For some, they work in the prison, get a taste of the job, and then eventually they can get sent to the academy when there's openings or when there's money available. I mean, most likely, you could have people that work in these prisons and jails for years before they're even sent to academy. And that's sad. Because let me tell you a little bit about the academy. A lot of things that people may not see because it's not on the surface. One thing is academy is supposed to foster unity amongst the recruits. There is an animosity between the recruits and the instructors. They want that to develop. Eventually it lessens as you go through your time in the academy. But they do foster a bit of an animosity or the us versus them mentality, because they figure, and it does work, guys, it's been proven, that through that us versus them mentality, the recruits versus the instructors, the recruits gain a bond. It's like an inseparable bond. You know, it forms from the animosity towards one group. And that bond is what kind of helps us as we start our career, because now we see each other as a family. It's supposed to be that way. You know, so if something happens, we carry that mentality with us and we stand up for our brothers and sisters. And I think it's needed. I think it's needed. It's a great bond that gets created in the academy. And that motivates us and our actions, because let's say, God forbid, an officer is getting attacked. That's not just an officer. That's my brother. That's my sister. That's someone that I connected with in the academy. That's someone I fostered a real good relationship with. So the bond that can be created at academy is strong, and it motivates us throughout our career. I think it kind of starts our journey into seeing each other as family, as brothers and sisters, instead of just coming into this profession and, you know, we're kind of strangers to each other, which means that my relationship to my fellow officer is pretty much no different than my relationship to an inmate at that point. because there's been no foundation for me. You know, and that's the key about the academy. There's a foundation that's made at the very beginning that shows you your place in this family, and it's encouraged every day. Also, for management, there's the liability aspect. You're training individuals so they can react effectively and properly. So if they don't have the training and they react and something they do is wrong and they haven't been to the academy, the onus of that mistake is on you, management. It's not on them because they haven't been trained. We can see that sometimes with preserving crime scenes. A lot of academies don't offer that, which is insane. It's insane because crimes happen in prisons. And then when the officer messes up and, you know, makes a mistake during the preservation of the crime scene, people try to hold that officer responsible. But then it's quick to say, hey, this officer was not trained. This officer did the best they could with the knowledge that they gained on their own. So if anybody should be held responsible, it should be management. So management, you put people through the academy first so they can sign off on the training they received. And then if something backfires, management can go back and say, was this person trained? Yes, this person was trained. And then the onus can be put on the individual. So for management not to send people to the academy first, in my opinion, is a major responsibility. Now, I know some people will say that those that don't go to the academy, they're limited in what they can do. You know what? In our world, the people that are behind the wall should not be limited in anything that they should do or that they can do. They're behind the wall. They're officers. When they get behind that wall, they should be ready. They should not be limited. They should be ready and prepared. The academy tests that as well. The academy will test you to the best that they can to make sure you're prepared for this line of work if you have a good academy. And a good academy is usually a few months. I would say a good 3 to 4 months. It's a good academy. You know, again, good information has to be given. And we're talking about true physical test to make sure people are up for the job both mentally and physically. And that will test the individuals before they come into this profession. The last thing I would want is for an individual not to be tested and then come into this profession. Because I don't care what anyone says. Even if you gave me a new boot who did not go into the academy and that person's walking next to me, I am dependent on that individual. I'm dependent on that person, and hopefully they're able to save my life. But I'm going to tell you something. If they haven't been tested, and the first time they're tested is when shit goes down inside the facility, you just put me in harm's way. You had no care for my well-being, my safety. And that's sad. Sorry, guys, for the change of scenery. As I was getting ready to do my closing, neighbors came out. Got a little loud. But again, just want to go back. The academy is so important because it sets the tone of our relationship behind that wall. It sets the tone. It builds us right from this ground up. And it highlights how important we are to each other behind that wall. It reinforces that every day. And the reason why that's important is because then when we go behind that wall on our first day of work, we understand that connection, that importance that we have to each other. You are not a stranger to me. I know you. We went through the same struggle. That academy builds respect for each other, the brotherhood and sisterhood that we belong to, but also to that uniform. And that academy reminds us that we're family. And we need that reminder in this line of work because we are going to sacrifice ourselves for each other. That's what we got ourselves into. And the academy is going to do its best to weed out the people who are not willing to do that. They try. But I'd rather have them go through something than nothing. I remember an academy instructor who at the very end put us all in this group together. And we were tight, 100 and something of us. And he told us to get close and close until we all mushed in. And he said, hey, guys, that's how it feels when you're behind that wall. That's how tight it feels. But on another note, that's how tight we need to be. We are each other's keeper. And for me, that reinforced my ability to now sacrifice myself if I had to for someone behind the wall. Because that someone is not a stranger to me. He's my brother or she's my sister. So again, please comment below what your thoughts are. Why is the academy so important? Why is it most important that individuals go through the academy first before they enter the field? And I think this is great dialogue. It's needed dialogue. And I think it would be good for other people on the outside to hear this because they may not be aware. So as always, the show is Tier Talk. My name is Anthony Gangi. And guys, if you haven't, remember, this show is for you. You brave men and women who work behind the wall. So if you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, and hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. Until tomorrow, as always, stay safe. Love you guys.